तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो।
श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु। गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि। ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु। अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शिक्षां व्याख्यास्यामः वर्णस्वरः मात्राफलं सामसन्तानः इत्युक्तशिक्षाध्यायः। सहनौ यशः सहनौ ब्रह्मवर्चसम् अथातः स्वगुंहिताया उपनिषदं व्याख्यास्यामः। पञ्चस्वधिकरणेषु अधिलोकमधिज्योतिषमधिविद्यमधिप्रजमध्यात्मम् तामहासगुंहिता इत्याचक्षते। अथाधिलोकम् पृथिवीपूर्वरूपम् द्यौरुत्तररूपम् आकाशः सन्धिः वायुः सन्धानम् इत्यधिलोकम्। अथादिज्योतिषम् अग्निः पूर्वरूपम् आदित्य उत्तररूपम् आपः सन्धिः वैद्युतः सन्धानम् इत्यधिज्योतिषम्। अथादिविद्यम् आचार्यः पूर्वरूपम् अन्तेवास्युत्तररूपम् विद्या सन्धिः प्रवचनगुं सन्धानम् इत्यधिविद्यम्। अथाधिप्रजम् माता पूर्वरूपम् पितोत्तररूपम् प्रजा सन्धिः प्रजनगुं सन्धानम् इत्यधिप्रजम्। अथाध्यात्मम् अधराहनुः पूर्वरूपम् उत्तराहनुरुत्तररूपम् वाक्सन्धिः जिह्वासन्धानम् इत्यध्यात्मम्। इति मा महासगुंहिताः य एवमेतामहासंहिता व्याख्याता वेद सन्धीयते प्रजया पशुभिः ब्रह्मवर्चसेन्नान्नाद्येन सुवर्ग्येण लोकेन यश्छन्दसा मृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽद्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवम् ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ति वितन्वाना कुर्वाणा चीरमात्मनः वासागुंसि मम गामश्व अन्नपाने च सर्वदा ततो मे श्रियमावह लोमशां पशुभिः सह स्वाहा आमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा विमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा प्रमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा दमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा शमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा यशोजने सानि स्वाहा श्रेयान्वस्यसोऽसानि स्वाहा तं त्वा भगप्रविशानि स्वाहा समा भगप्रविश स्वाहा तस्मिन् सहस्रशाखे निबगाहं त्वयि मृजे स्वाहा यथा पः प्रवतायन्ति यथा मासा अहर्जरम् एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः दातरायन्तु सर्वतः स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमाबाहि प्रमापत्यस्व ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्य साई बाबाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्यस्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्यधर्मपरायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् वरदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्पुरुषाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सत्यगुणात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् साधुवर्धनाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् साधुजनपोषणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वजनप्रियाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वशक्तिमूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वसङ्गपरित्यागिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वान्तर्यामिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् महिमात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् महेश्वरस्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् प्रतिग्रामोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् प्रतिक्षेत्रनिवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् यशकाय शिरडिवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् जोडि आदिपल्लि सोमप्पाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् भारद्वाज ऋषिगोत्राय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् भक्तवत्सलाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अपान्तरात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अवतारमूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वभयनिवारिणे नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आपस्तम्भसूत्राय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् रत्नाकरवंशोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शिरडिसाई वेदशक्ति अवताराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शङ्कराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शिरडिसाई मूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् द्वारकामाई वासिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् चित्रावती तटपुटवर्ति विहारिणे नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शक्तिप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् शरणागतत्राणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आनन्दाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आनन्ददाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आर्तत्राणपरायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अनाथनाथाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् असहाय सहायाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् लोकबान्धवाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् लोकरक्षापरायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् लोकनाथाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् दीनजनपोषणाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् मूर्तित्रयस्वरूपाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् मुक्तिप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् कलुषविदुराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् करुणाकराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वाधाराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वहृदयवासिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् पुण्यफलप्रदाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वपापक्षयकराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वरोगनिवारिणे नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् सर्वबाधहराय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अनन्तनुदकर्तनाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आदिपुरुषाय नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् आदिशक्तये नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अपरूपशक्तिने नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् अव्यक्तरूपिणे नमः। ॐ श्री भगवान् कामक्रोधध्वंसिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कनकांबरधारिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अद्भुतचर्याय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आपद्बांधवाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रेमात्मने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रेममूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रेमप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्रियाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तप्रियाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तमन्दाराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तजनहृदयविहाराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तजनहृदयालयाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तपराधीनाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तिज्ञानप्रदीपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान भक्तिज्ञानप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सुज्ञानमार्गदर्शकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान ज्ञानस्वरूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान गीताबोधकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान ज्ञानसिद्धिदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सुंदररूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान पुण्यपुरुषाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान फलप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान प्राणपुरुषाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अहिताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कालातीताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सिद्धिरूपाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सिद्धसंकल्पाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आरोग्यप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान अन्नवस्त्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान संसार दुःखशेखराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वाभीष्टप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कल्याण गुणाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान कर्मध्वंसिने नमः। ओम श्री भगवान साधु मानस शोभिताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वमतसम्मताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान साधु मानस परिशोधकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान साधुकानुग्रह प्रतिष्ठापकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सकल संशय हराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सकल तत्व बोधकाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान योगीश्वराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान योगींद्र वंदिताय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वमंगलकराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सर्वसिद्धिप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आपन्निवारिणे नमः। ओम श्री भगवान आर्तिहराय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान शांतमूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री भगवान सुलभ प्रसन्नाय नमः। ओम श्री भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबाय नमः।
विघ्नेश्वरा विनायका
विघ्नेश्वरा विनायका
विघ्नेश्वरा विनायका
विघ्नेश्वरा विनायका
ईश्वरतारा नमोस्तुते
ईश्वराय
सनातन हे
सद्गुरु ब्रह्म सनातन हे
गुरु ब्रह्म सनातन हे
सद्गुरु ब्रह्म सनातन हे
परम दया कर पावन 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 हे
मज दुख विनाशन हे
मज दुख विनाशन हे
मज दुख विनाशन हे
मज दुख विनाशन हे
जगतो कारण कारण हे
जगदोदाहरण कारण हे
जगतो कारण कारण हे
जगदोदाहरण कारण हे
साई कृष्ण जनार्दन हे
साई कृष्ण जनार्दन हे
भवभय जलति तारण हे
भवभय जलति तारण हे
भवभय जलति तारण हे
भवभय जलति तारण हे
सद्गुरु ब्रह्म
साई देवा
गुरुदेवा
भवभय हरना श्री साई देवा
भवभय हरना श्री साई देवा
श्री साई देवा श्री साई देवा
श्री साई देवा श्री साई देवा
भवभय हरना श्री साई देवा
भवभय हरना श्री साई देवा
गुरु है सतचित
गुरु है सतचित आनंद देवा
श्री साई
आनंद देवा श्री साई देवा
श्री साई
आनंद देवा श्री साई देवा करुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय जय 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 गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु माहेश्वरा साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु माहेश्वरा साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा
जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वर साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वर साई महादेवा
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा
माता पिता गुरुदेवा श्री 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 साई महादेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा
साक्षात् परब्रह्म साई गुरुवन्दना सत्य साई
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 गुरुपदरञ्जन गुरुपरमेशा
गुरुपदरञ्जन गुरुपरमेशा
गुरुपदरञ्जन गुरुपरमेशा
गुरुपदरञ्जन गुरुपरमेशा
गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु महेशा
गुरुब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु महेशा
गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु महेशा
गुरुब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु महेशा
सद्गुरु साई पतिपुरीशा
सद्गुरु साई पतिपुरीशा
सद्गुरु साई पतिपुरीशा
सद्गुरु साई पतिपुरीशा
चरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
शरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
चरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
शरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
साक्षात् परब्रह्म साई गुरुवन्दना सत्य साई
साक्षात् परब्रह्म साई साई पति पुरीशा
सद्गुरु साई पति पुरीशा
सद्गुरु साई पति पुरीशा
चरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
शरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
चरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
शरण नमोस्तुते साई महेशा
साक्षात्
परब्रह्म साई
गुरुवन्दना सत्य साई
गुरु महिमा गावो
महिमा
गुरु महिमा गावो गुरु महिमा गावो
गुरु महिमा गाओ
गुरु महिमा गावो
महिमा गाओ
गुरु महिमा गावो
महिमा
सद्गुरु साई अनंत गुरु
सद्गुरु साई अनंत गुरु
सद्गुरु साई अनंत गुरु
सद्गुरु साई अनंत गुरु
ब्रह्मानंद आनंद गुरु ब्रह्मानंद आनंद गुरु सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
गुरु की वाणी गाओ गुरु के वाणी गाओ गुरु महिमा गाओ गुरु महिमा गाओ गुरु महिमा गाओ सद्गुरु साई अनंत गुरु
सद्गुरु साई अनंत गुरु
ब्रह्मानंद आनंद गुरु सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई
साई गुरु
साई गुरु
साई गुरु
साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई गुरु
गुरु के वाणी गाओ परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
हे परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
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 हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे 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 राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधु सद्गुरु साई राम।
अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधु सद्गुरु साई राम।
हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधु सद्गुरु साई राम।
अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधु सद्गुरु साई राम।
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 हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे 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 राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हे परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
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 हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम।
हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हे अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधु सद्गुरु साई राम।
अनाथ नाथा दीना बंधु सद्गुरु साई राम।
सद्गुरु साई राम।
सद्गुरु साई राम।
हे सद्गुरु साई राम।
सद्गुरु साई राम।
राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम।
हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हरे राम साई राम।
हे परतिपुरीश प्रशांति वासा सद्गुरु साई राम।
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा।
साई गुरुदेवा। साई गुरुदेवा।
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा।
जय साई गुरुदेवा।
साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
तुम्हें हो माता पिता तुम्हें हो साई गुरुदेवा
तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो साई गुरुदेवा
तुम्हें हो माता पिता तुम्हें हो साई गुरुदेवा
तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो साई गुरुदेवा
सत्य स्वरूप राह दिखाओ 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 साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो साई गुरुदेवा
तुम्ही हो माता पिता तुम्ही हो साई गुरुदेवा
सत्य स्वरूप राह दिखाओ साई गुरुदेवा
सत्य स्वरूप राह दिखाओ साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं जय साई गुरुदेवा
साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा
गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा स्वरूपा गुरु बाबा
शांत स्वरूपा गुरु बाबा
शांत स्वरूपा गुरु बाबा
शांत स्वरूपा गुरु बाबा
गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
जय गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा
गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा
शरण नमोस्तुते गुरु बाबा
शरण नमोस्तुते गुरु बाबा
विद्यादायक गुरु बाबा
विद्यादायक गुरु बाबा
शांत स्वरूपा गुरु बाबा
शांत स्वरूपा गुरु बाबा
गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
जय गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
गुरुवर गुरुवर गुरु बाबा
गुरु बाबा गुरु बाबा
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंद आंजनेय
रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय
रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंद आंजनेय
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय
हनुमंद हनुमंद आंजनेय
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय
हनुमंद हनुमंद आंजनेय
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय
पवन पुत्र हनुमंद बलभीमा आंजनेय
हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बलभीमा आंजनेय
पवन पुत्र हनुमंद बलभीमा आंजनेय
हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बलभीमा आंजनेय
बलभीमा बलभीमा आंजनेय
बलभीमा 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 आंजनेय
बलभीमा 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 आंजनेय
बलभीमा 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 आंजनेय
प्रभु रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंद आंजनेय
रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आंजनेय
हनुमंद 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 आंजनेय
हनुमंत 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 आंजनेय
पवन पुत्र हनुमंद बलभीमा आंजनेय
हे पवन पुत्र हनुमंत बलभीमा आंजनेय
बलभीमा बलभीमा आंजनेय
बलभीमा बलभीमा
बलभीमा आञ्जनेया
बलभीमा 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 आञ्जनेया
रामचंद्र के दूता हनुमंत आञ्जनेया
Love, 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 love is good.
love 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 is good
Love, love, love is good.
love 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 is good
Live, 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 live in love.
live 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 in love
Live, 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 live in love.
live 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 in love
Expand your heart to encompass all.
expand your heart to encompass all
Expand your heart to encompass all.
expand your heart to encompass all
Live, live in love.
live live in love
Live, live in love.
live live in love
Your master is your heart.
your master is your heart
Your heart where God resides.
your heart where God resides
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
Love, love is God.
Love, love is God.
Live, live in love.
Live, live in love.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
Love, love, love is good.
Love, love, love is all.
Live, 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 live in love.
Live, 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 live in love.
Expand your heart to encompass all.
Expand your heart to encompass all.
Live, live in love.
Live, live in love.
Live, live in love.
Live, live in love.
Your master is your heart.
Your master is your heart.
Your heart where God resides.
Your heart where God resides.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind.
Love, love is
Love, love is God.
live, live in love.
Live, live in love.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind.
God is in you, with you, above you, around you, and behind you.
Love, love,
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
हर हर शिव शिव सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
हर हर शिव शिव सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
हर हर शिव शिव सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव शिव सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
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 शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा भज मन साई राम।
हर 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 नमामि शंकर भज मन साई राम।
जाननी साई देवी दयामयी।
जननी साई देवी दयामयी।
जाननी साई देवी दयामयी।
जननी साई देवी दयामयी।
जननी माँ कालिनी माँ।
जननी मातृकालिनी माँ।
जननी माँ कृपालिनी हो प्रेम स्वरूपिणी
तुम हो प्रेम स्वरूपिणी
तुम हो प्रेम स्वरूपिणी
प्रेम स्वरूपिणी
दया करो सत्य साई
दया करो सत्य साई
कृपा करो सत्य साई
कृपा करो सत्य साई
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी
जननी
प्रेमदायिनी
साई देवी दयामयी
जननी साई देवी दयामयी
जननी मातृकालिनी
जननी मातृकालिनी
तुम हो प्रेम स्वरूपिणी
प्रेम स्वरूपिणी
दया करो सत्य साई
दया करो सत्य साई
कृपा करो सत्य साई
करो सत्य साई
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी प्रेमदायिनी
जननी साई देवी दयामयी
षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुन्दरा
षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुन्दर
षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुन्दरा
षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुन्दर
शिव शरवण भवो
शिव शरवण भव
गुरु शरवण भवो
गुरु शरवण भव
मंगल गौरी शंकर नंदना
मंगल गौरी शंकर नंदन
मंगल गौरी शंकर नंदना
मंगल गौरी शंकर नंदन
शिव शरवण भवो
शिव शरवण भव
गुरु शरवण भवो
गुरु शरवण भव
पार्ति विहारी प्रणवाकारी
पार्ति विहारी प्रणवाकारी
पुट पार्ति विहारी प्रणवाकारी
पार्ति विहारी प्रणवाकारी
शिव शरवण भवो
शिव शरवण भव
गुरु शरवण भवो
गुरु शरवण भव
षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुन्दरा
षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुन्दर
शिव शरवण भवो
शरवण भव
गुरु शरवण भवो
शरवण भव
मंगल गौरी शंकर नंदना
मंगल गौरी शंकर नंदन
शरवण भव गुरु शरवण भव पार्ति विहारी प्रणवाकारी पुट पार्ति विहारी प्रणवाकारी शिव शरवण भव गुरु शरवण भव 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 गुरु शरवण भव षण्मुख षण्मुख साई सुंदर
वाहेगुरु 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 की वाहेगुरु 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 की सत्यनाम 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 बोलो सत्यनाम 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 नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम की बोलो नित्य जपिए तेरे नाम की बोलो सत्यनाम 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 की बोलो राम 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 की बोलो बोलो राम 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 की बोलो मुख्य जपिए राम नाम की बोलो कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो बोलो कृष्ण 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 जी बोलो मुख्य जपिए कृष्ण नाम जी बोलो शिव 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 नाम जी बोलो बोलो शिव 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 नाम जी बोलो मुख्य जपिए सत्य नाम जी बोलो हर 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 जी बोलो बोलो हरि 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 जी बोलो सत्यनाम 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 जी दत्त 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 दत्तात्रेय जी बोलो दत्त 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 बोलो दत्त 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 दत्तात्रेय जी बोलो सत्यनाम जी बोलो नित्य जपिए सत्यनाम जी नित्य जपिए सत्यनाम जी वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु बोलो वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु
Swami's message is taken from Divine Discourse delivered on the 17th of July, 1962. The Guru is needed when you have the Guri, goal or aim. If you do not have that urge, what can the teacher do? Strewing precious seeds on sand or rock is a sheer waste. Inner prompting to see light must send aspirants to the teacher or must draw the teacher to wherever the aspirant is. You must inquire and discriminate. Do objects grant happiness? Is anyone happy? How can one be happy through multiplications of desire and frantic efforts to feed the raging fire? At last, you will, by your own experience, discover that happiness is an inner gift, a spiritual treasure that can be won by equanimity. The moon is the presiding deity of the mind. It must shine, cool and comforting, eternally, in fullness, in the inner firmament of the heart. The external material moon waxes and wanes, but the internal mind should be trained to stand up against modifications and moods and have no marks on it. It should always be a full moon for the victorious spiritual aspirant. Sai Ram. Sai Ram, there will now be a short video of Swami.
ప్రేమస్వరూపులారా, ఏదో గురు పౌర్ణమి అనుకొని ఏదో బాహ్యమైనటువంటి గురువులంతా చేర్చుకొని ఏదో కొన్ని పూజలు పునస్కారములని ఈ యొక్క అల్పమైనటువంటి కార్యాల్లో మన జీవితాన్ని మరింత బంధించుకోనారు.
Embodiments of divine love. In the name of Guru Poornima, we should not get bound by wrongly understanding Guru Poornima and Guru as a
గురువు ఒక్కడే, దైవం ఒక్కడే గురువు.
There is only one Guru. And
ఆ గురువు ఎవరు? అది నీవే.
Who is that Guru? It is yourself.
ఆ గురుత్వం అనేటువంటి దైవత్వం నీలోనే ఉంటుంది. నీవెక్కడో బయట ప్రపంచంలో వెతకడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నావు.
That Guru in the form of divinity is residing in you, but you are searching for the Guru in the outside world.
కనుక బ్రహ్మ విష్ణు మహేశ్వర స్వరూపులు నీ యొక్క గుణములే.
The Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara are the qualities which are embedded in you.
Sai Ram, there will now be a speech by Dr. Ananth Venkataraman, former National Spiritual Coordinator, on this auspicious occasion of Guru Poornima. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most loving and humble pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. I'd like to start off by wishing you all a very happy Guru Poornima. In fact, it is our great fortune that we are all able to sit together virtually as one family from our homes and contemplate on our beloved Mother Sai on this holy occasion of Guru Poornima. Guru, as Swami says, is the one who illumines the path to divinity. Guru is one who shows us who God is, who takes us on that path towards God, and ends up making us realize ourselves. Of course, in the holy tradition of Bharat, Guru has played a pivotal role in the spiritual progress of each and every individual. And of course, all of us have also heard this great chant of Mata Pita Guru Devam. And Guru is one, the traditional story goes that mother shows who the father is, and father shows who the Guru is, and Guru shows the person who God is. But of course, there have been many gurus who've come time and again, different prophets and so on, who's told us what the definition of God is, who God is, and how we should worship Him or her, and so on. However, when God Himself takes on the role of guru, then it makes it even more special. And that is exactly what all of us have been fortunate enough to experience and still witness during our lifetimes right now, that Swami Himself has donned the role of guru, and He's guiding us, and He's guided us, He showed who God is, and He's still showing who God is, and He is the one who is taking all of us in that journey towards divinity. When it comes to Swami, I would like to share some of my experiences and thoughts in the sense of how Swami has made a huge difference to my life. First and foremost, Swami, in the role of a guru, taught me, or literally took away the distance between me and God. Of course, initially, when you're growing up, you think God is someone who's very difficult to attain. When you hear stories about many sages and people doing tapas for hundreds of thousands of years, it did create a false impression in my mind that God is someone who's very distant, who's very difficult to attain, and who's someone who's sitting somewhere far away making notes about what good and bad deeds I'm doing. But the first thing that Swami did, at least for me, was to remove that distance between me and Him. He showed God as someone who's very personal, who's very dear. God is love, and love is God. And God is not someone whom we should fear, have fear about, but in fact we should fear sin and love God instead. And he literally removed those inhibitions, those hurdles, and made Him appear more personal, someone who's more near and dear to me. Of course, during my times at Vrindavan, Swami did, play the role of a student, of a friend, to literally convey the message that He is not someone who's very far away, but He's someone who's near and dear. You might have heard of this story where Swami goes. This happened in Ooty in the primary school. That when Swami would go sit along with children over there, with the students there, and in one such occasion when the students were distributed, there was a drink in India called fruity, which is just a carton, drink with it's a mango drink in a carton box, and when the children finished drinking that, when they were all going away and disposing that off in the bin, Swami actually stopped and told those children that this is not the way you actually throw them away. He actually took one of those, blowed air into that, dropped it on the floor, and stamped on it to make a noise, right? And that literally creates a different impression of God in one's mind, because that goes to show that God is someone who's also with us, who's ready to play with us, who's ready to kind of sing with us and dance with us and be with us throughout. So that was the first thing, in my opinion, that Swami did to me, that he removed that distance between me and Him. And even if you move away from the physical aspect, Swami is just a thought away. If we're not thinking of Swami, we don't realize He is there. But the moment we start thinking of Him, we automatically realize that He is there. He is with us, He's above us, He's below us, He's in us, He's onto our left, onto our right, in front of us, behind us, and everywhere, all around us. And it's just, a thought that literally separates us from Swami. But moving on from that, the second most aspect that Swami showed in the role of a guru for me was the path to attain Him. And of course, he's done that for all of us in many different ways and in His own inimitable style. And when you take the extent to which Swami goes to actually teach us a lesson, or to show how we should behave ourselves, or to literally show how one should lead his or her life, it is indeed very, very, very unique. Let's take an example. During our times in Vrindavan and in Parthi, when we were studying there, we had the opportunity to observe Swami from close quarters physically. And when it comes to, be it dressing up or cutting nails or shaving or, making sure the hair is fine and so on, even on a physical body level, Swami was at the best. Swami was a, epitome of perfection. And that sort of brought out a lesson to us, even without him telling, that we should, physical hygiene is very important and so on, right? And that is on the basic mundane level. But then when you go, move away from that physical aspect and then talk about how did Swami, teach us important lessons, and Swami did that in a way that was very unique, as I mentioned earlier on, and as all of us know, in a way that he broke down very abstruse concepts into something which is simple and something that's easily digestible by all of us, right? Let me give you an example. So there was one of the professors in Parthi was narrating this to me. It was an episode about how Swami wanted to teach what surrender meant to a couple of boys. So it so happened that Swami was constructing a certain section of a wall or of a room in where Purnachandra Auditorium stands now, and then he took a couple of boys along with him. And there was one of the caretakers, a very senior devotee, who was taking care of the project. And Swami went there one day and gave him detailed instructions of how to construct a certain section of the wall, gave him very, as I mentioned, detailed instructions. And then told him that, please get it constructed and I'll come and look at that tomorrow. So he took those boys away and come next day, Swami, along with the same two boys, went to the site and the construction site. And then, of course, this devotee was there. He had finished that particular job, and he was waiting for Swami to come and see that particular piece of construction. Swami went there, then looked at the senior devotee, who's maybe about 3 or 4 times older than these two boys who were accompanying Swami, and literally, started blasting him left, right, and center. And Swami basically started telling him, why did you do it this way? Whose money are you wasting? What do you think of yourself? And things like that, right? And then Swami basically, gave him another set of instructions and told him, get this down and then construct it as I'm telling you right now. And this episode, finished, and then when Swami was kind of walking away back to the mandir, one of the boys mustered some courage and then asked Swami that, Swami, it was you who told that devotee to construct this particular piece of wall in a certain way, but today you were the one who was negating that, and you were actually having a go at him for, none of his fault. But then Swami looked at these boys and told them lovingly that, yes, I know that I was the one who told him yesterday, and I'm the one who's actually telling him the other way around today. But it was actually to teach you both a lesson of what surrender means that I did that. In fact, that devotee, his name is Chiranjeevi Rao Garu, I'm sure all of you know him. He was a very short and stout man, about the same age of Swami, who used to look after the Prashanti Mandir. And Swami told these boys that yes, even he knew that. But had he interrupted and told me that, Swami, it was you who told me yesterday, and you are the one who's kind of going against what you said yesterday, the conversation would have ended then and there. But look at his devotion to me, look at his faith and surrender to me, that he did not question anything that I said, even though it seemed as though it was contradictory. And that is what Swami defined, told these boys that is what surrender is. And the beauty about this is that it shows us to the extent to which Swami would go to actually teach us what some of these, seemingly, high-level spiritual concepts could be. And for Swami, it doesn't matter how much it costs, it doesn't matter how much time he actually ends up spending, but for him, out of his infinite compassion and love, it is actually bringing about the transformation in each one of our hearts that matters. Now, when I was talking about how Swami removed the distance between, me and him, or any of us and him, and also, went out to show how to kind of achieve him, for the beauty about having Swami as our guru is that not only is the Guru showing us, the destination, but the beauty is that Swami himself is the destination. For all of us, the destination is to merge into Swami, into Swami who's actually living in each of our hearts. And when he kind of removed that distance and so on, sometimes it does happen that we take things too lightly, take things for granted. And it so happened in one such occasion that we were going on about our own lives, and it was probably, which we didn't realize ourselves, it was probably time that we actually forgot Swami, or we actually forgot the importance of Swami. So once it happened that Swami came to Vrindavan from Parthi, and we were all quite excited that Swami has come back to Vrindavan. When we were seated for morning darshan, Swami came for darshan. He totally ignored all the boys sitting there and then went on about with his darshan. It happened day after day. So morning darshan, evening darshan, the following day, Swami would just completely ignore. He wouldn't even come near the boys. He would just go away, and he was slowly enacting a drama. And clearly during that time, our intensity of prayers were increasing, and we started out introspecting. Each of us was starting to introspect, to say, what was the mistake that I did? That Swami is not looking at us, Swami is not talking to us, and so on. And then finally, after about 3 or 4 days, it so happened that our warden basically came and announced in one of our evening sessions to say that tomorrow morning, instead of all of us sitting in Sai Ramesh Hall, we'll all go straight to Tri Vrindavan, that is where Swami used to reside, and basically sit there and plead to Swami. And once you go there, it's entirely between you and Swami. And of course, Swami comes out the following morning, and then the following afternoon actually, and then he comes out and pretends as though, oh, who let you all in? Why did you come in? And so on. And then we were all seated. By the time Swami came from Trai Vrindavan to Sai Ramesh Hall, we were all seated there trying to sort of plead with Swami, trying to pull him and then seek his attention, plead with him, to ask him, pray to him, to talk to all of us, and so on and so forth. But little did we realize that in the background, what had happened was Swami, in order to make us realize the importance of God himself, had told Warden Sir that, let the boys in and let me enact the drama that I'm kind of, not pleased with what the boys are doing, so that they would then go away, introspect and pray to me. And then when they come back and plead to me, then I will then, of course, Swami, out of his compassion and grace, would kind of come down and again, once again, talk to all of us. But Swami, in his own, inimitable style and infinite compassion, also enacts the drama, because at times we forget about Swami and take him for granted. And the beauty of having God as our own Guru is that he comes down to our level, and even when we forget, he stoops to our level and makes us remember him again, makes us pray to him once again, and makes us introspect and correct ourselves so that we can go closer to him. And when I mention, we can go closer to him, I'm reminded of one occasion when one of the boys was asking Swami, during the alumni day, one of the boys was asking Swami, what is the easiest and quickest way to come closer to you, Swami? Immediately Swami replied saying, you don't have to come closer to me, but I will come closer to you. And relating back to what Swami said earlier on, of what Swami enacted earlier on, by reminding us of who he is, by reminding us of the path that we should take so that we can get closer to him and so on. But he also reminds us that the moment we put in that effort, we don't have to kind of go closer to him, but he will come closer to each one of us. Of course, in this day and age, there's so much happening all around us to keep us constantly distracted. And not only about coming in once in a while to remind us of who he is and what we should be doing, Swami is constantly with us, guiding us and reminding us of kind of making sure that we all go in the path that leads us towards him. Now going back 10 years, in Jan 2011, Swami made a very interesting remark. We were all gathered in Mandir at that time, and then after giving darshan, Swami came, and Swami started telling all of us that he basically said, keep coming, have faith, keep coming. And then he went on to say something which is very revealing now when you look back. It is quite hitting as well, because Swami then he went on to say that in the coming years many things will happen. Do not get distracted by any of those. Keep coming, have faith. It was a very simple and a clear message, but Swami had also indicated 10 years ago of what was bound to come. And clearly all of us know, within a matter of months, Swami shed his mortal coils, and since then, I don't have to list out the number of distractions that we've all had as devotees of the Lord, but there has been one thing or the other. And this is where Swami comes. He comes to remind us constantly that we shouldn't forget him. We shouldn't kind of, get engrossed in all these distractions that is happening all around us and get carried away by that. And that was a very, very succinct and a very simple message that Swami gave all of us, that we should keep coming back to him, have that faith, do not get distracted by things that are bound to happen, but just keep our focus on him and then continue our journey individually. Of course, I can keep narrating a number of instances of how Swami went about conducting his life as his message is what he says. But at the same time, there are innumerable instances that we can think of to kind of go away and think about of how Swami himself conducted himself to show us how to lead a life and how to behave. Right from the way he would walk, the way he would talk, the way he would close a door, the way he would treat individuals. If we have to learn anything at all, we don't need to take a book and learn from anyone else. But if we just observe how Swami behaved, how he went about on his day-to-day activities, that itself is a treasure for all of us to learn. And of course, sometimes Swami would say, imitation is human and creation is divine. But sometimes I've often thought that if we start imitating how Swami actually went on about his life, and I'm not meaning just his gestures, but about how he conducted, how he kind of led an exemplary life on this planet, just to show us what spirituality meant, what divinity meant, and what conducting a good life, conducting ourselves in a good manner meant. And ultimately we can keep going on and on about that, but it is important, and it is important for all of us to realize the great fortune that all of us have had to have the Lord himself as our Guru, the Lord himself as our guiding light, the Lord himself coming to us and showing the destination that we all are meant to be reaching. So with that, I will close my talk and wish you all a happy Guru Poornima once again. Sai Ram to all of you.
समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ 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 साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्।